What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. September 14th, 2022. Dudes Who Bet Daily is back after a nice little sweep of a Sunday. Awesome first NFL Sunday for the show. Ended up going 4-0 plus $495. Aaron, you must have been sweating that Mahomes and Murray 2 touchdowns a little bit. It's got right down to the end there. We need that trash time.
I feel like everybody else's pick, it was like an easy win, and mine was like garbage win, but it's a win nonetheless. Yeah. Thank God the Cardinals were so bad that the Chiefs kind of just didn't try in the last quarter, and Murray was able to throw a couple of touchdown passes. I knew going into the second half that they were going to have to throw a lot, so that was the good news. But a couple of definitely meaningless touchdown throws. But in the world of gambling, it doesn't matter; it just counts. So we'll take it.
That was definitely one of the game scripts that you like, though. You know that Mahomes was going to put up points. You know Kyler had to respond, and he did. It just took a little bit longer than we were hoping for. So,
well, we talked about it, right? And we're like, look, the Mahomes thing, that's a lock. And he got it in the first quarter. Yeah. And so it was just like, we just got to get Murray to get it. And like I said, it worked out.
Papa, dude, you kept your streak going in baseball. You've been hot there consistently for the last 2 weeks since you got your little special advisor going for you here.
Yeah.
Nice to get the Rangers home at plus 100. We're all headed back to baseball today.
Before
we get to that, let's talk a little about NFL takeaways from week one. Papa, dude, you want to kick us off? What was your number one takeaway from the first week of the NFL season?
I had a hard time narrowing it down to one.
I know you would. That's why I told Aaron to tell you one.
Well, if I have to just do one, I'm going to do two because I'm going to cheat. Have you ever seen worse kickers? If we got some terrible kickers.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, these coaches ought to start playing their starters a little bit in the exhibition games, because I thought this was the worst. I thought it was a horrible week. I really did. I thought the play was terrible. And now we're down to 3 exhibition games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might ought to play them in one of them. And if they get hurt, they get hurt. That's my big takeaway.
Yeah, we definitely saw some sloppy play. I'm going to go right to that in a second with one of mine as well. So I won't go jump there too fast. But the kickers had a rough day, specifically in those 2 overtime games where we saw kick after kick miss. I agree with you. It was a sloppy week one, but man, it was an entertaining week one. Specifically that hour that ended those early games. You just had games flipping left, right, and center with Carolina and Cleveland. You had the amazing 2 overtime games, specifically that Pitt-Cincinnati game was phenomenal. I'm going to kind of piggyback you with my one takeaway, though. The Denver Broncos are absolutely unbettable until their head coach figures out what the hell he's doing, because that was the most pathetic performance I have ever seen from a coach and coaching staff in their first season game. It was just dumb penalties, which is lack of preparation, multiple delay of games, when you take timeouts into both halves, screwed up the first half clock management, screwed up the end of game clock management, kicked a 64-yarder because before the game, and he said this at his press conference, they decided if they got to the 46, it was worth taking the shot. So he's like, if we'd gotten 1 less yard on the previous play, we would have gone for it on 4th and 6. But that 1 yard made all the difference in the world. It was moronic decision-making.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, twice on goal to go from inside the 1, he runs shotgun runs, fails both times, 4 red zone possessions, 0 touchdowns against the worst defense in the NFL. It was a just smorgasbord of dumbass decisions from that coaching staff from the beginning to the end of it. And I cannot touch Denver, even though they're a 10-point favorite and should crush Houston this week. You have to stay away until Nathaniel Hackett proves that he can coach. End of rant.
I cannot argue with you one bit.
I was dumbfounded.
Well, first of all, how many field goals have been made from 64 yards in NFL history?
1.
Exactly.
And it was done in a dome by the best kicker in the history of the NFL. Like come on.
Exactly. If it was 4th and 20, okay.
Yeah.
I literally I said it out loud. What the F is going on here when he sent the kicker out? I'm like, because it's funny, if you're watching the Manning cast, which I got a kick out of it this week because they were making fun of him so much. It was they're getting around midfield, a minute to go, and they'd run a play and they get maybe a yard or two, and Peyton to go, okay, timeout, and he's screaming, call a timeout. And the guy's got all 3 of them. He never does. Runs the clock down to like 28 seconds. I mean, and then calls all these timeouts when the other team's basically just got to kneel to win the game. I thought that was amazing too. it's 4th down and 5. You have Russell Wilson.
Yes.
And you try to kick a 64-yard field goal. I mean, it's incredible.
And the other thing, you get all those delay of games, penalties with a veteran quarterback like that. What is going on? And
obviously, confusion was on the sideline. Yeah.
So
Russell Wilson said that they were slow getting play calls in, and that was what. And so, which is again, the offensive coordinator, the person calling the plays is Nathaniel Hackett. You guessed it. Like it's just like so. It's just a train wreck of a game overall from that coaching staff, and taking timeouts into both halves is awful. I like two things I cannot stand is when you play to win with a field goal. Like try and score a damn touchdown. That you can't miss a touchdown if you're in the end zone. And those runs from the 1 yard line.
So why? Because you hear every announcer say it. We sit here and say it. We were texting it. Why does nobody like that's not just a Denver problem? That's everywhere.
No, people got like they've decided they can get creative from the one and they can run the shotgun run. But when you think about it logically, it's just a numbers game. You are always -1 in the box because the safeties are up, linebackers are in the box, and you have a quarterback who can't block anyone. You have 2 play calls you can call. You can't run outside from a shotgun run. It will fail 100% of the time. So you have to either run it up the middle or you are rolling out to your quarterback's strong side. That's it. If you go and run I formation, you've got QB sneak you have to watch, then fullback dive. Then pitching the ball to the running back on the outside. Running back coming up the middle, play action pass to the tight end. It's significantly more difficult to defend and a heck of a lot easier to score because you didn't just take the ball 5 yards into the backfield with nobody having any momentum before trying to move the ball forward 4 inches. What the hell? Come on.
And you're seeing it at all levels.
Yeah.
We were under center anymore.
If you remember, we were listening to the Texas-Alabama game. And it was 4th down and inches, and they weren't on the goal line, but it was a 4th down and inches. They needed inches, and their announcers were saying, "I don't understand why we don't have a package where the quarterback's under center," and that's at Alabama, folks.
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
Some of the coaches say, "Well, we just don't practice under center enough." In the NFL, you do. Period. At college, there are some teams that will not take a snap under center all year.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, I still think you're wrong. You should.
Yes,
it's not hard. But fine. In the NFL, no excuse.
No.
Because you run under center every single game, every single practice. It just really ticks me off.
Well,
you still have people doing this.
Yeah, and there's no excuse in the NFL. Come on, that's their damn job. I mean, they can practice as long as they want, right? Yeah. College, you got 20 hours a week. That's no excuse either.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, junior high kids take snaps under center, for God's sake.
I knew you'd be on my side with this one.
Oh, I
was certain you'd be like, yes, they're dumbasses. Don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, what's your takeaway from NFL Week 1 here?
Well, listen, you guys went the negative route, and that doesn't surprise me. A couple of negative people like you are. I went the positive route. How great is Buffalo, Kansas City round 3 going to be for the AFC Championship this year? Listen, these two teams look so good, and in a week where there was a lot of sloppy play. And even Buffalo at times was sloppy in this game. Second half, they were not, though. They played fantastic, just destroyed the defending Super Bowl champions. And the Chiefs, my God, they were far from sloppy at any point. It feels like those two were easily the best 2 teams we saw week 1. I know it's a long season. We'll have to see. But Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, 3rd straight year in the playoffs. I think it's going to be for the AFC Championship game. I think it's going to be awesome. I just thought they were so good. And I think the key for the Bills, they've got to get the home field advantage this year. That's going to be such a big difference if they can. But these 2 teams look far and away better than anybody in week 1.
Yeah, and the Bills should be able to get the home field advantage when you look from a schedule perspective. I mean, that AFC West, we talked about it coming in. I just blasted Denver. They still outgained Seattle by 200 yards. They should get better if this coaching staff pulls their head out of their ass at some point. And then you have the San Diego and Las Vegas game, and Derek Carr missed some open receivers, or else that game would have been a lot closer as well. And I thought San Diego's defense looked phenomenal. 6 sacks, 3 picks, 3 forced fumbles. Mac is just he's a wrecking machine when he's singled, and he was not singled for the last couple of years. He's going to be singled a lot because you got Bosa on the other side of that line. And you got to pick one. You can't double team them both. And that's going to be very, very interesting, especially this Thursday. Can't wait to talk about that matchup tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
The Chiefs hosting the Chargers. That line has opened at 3, has moved all the way out to 4.5.
Wow.
One more thing that I think is really interesting, real quick, before we jump into the races. How the hell is Tampa Bay the second choice to win the Super Bowl right now at plus 700?
Listen, they looked awful.
I thought they looked very bad on offense.
And they lost another offensive lineman. That game was just like you now have Dallas out 2 starting offensive linemen. Tampa's out 3 starting offensive linemen. That's kind of important, guys. Like that's probably the most important unit in your entire team.
Yeah.
Well,
obviously matters too. But
while we're going, is the NFC not awful?
oh, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's
terrible. And how about this? NFC West 0-4.
Yeah.
Well,
teams.
They got the win. Seattle beat Denver.
Oh, that's right. I already had a game as a loss. That's right.
I was sitting here closing the Magic Mike show on Monday, joking around.
Yeah,
we can have 2 NFL division leaders with 0 wins after the first week because the NFC
actually Denver beat Denver.
That's fair.
Denver get 2 losses for that.
They should. They should get 6.
Tony says the Vikings, they look good. The Vikings did look good.
Yeah, they did.
They look excellent. They're sitting on the board at 22-1 to win the Super Bowl. And I would say that they should be the favorites right now to come out of the NFC.
Not after the first week, for sure.
You look at San Francisco, who's your second shortest price. Trey Lance looked like an absolute train wreck. Now, it was in a monsoon, but Justin Fields looked significantly better than Trey Lance did. And he was playing in a monsoon, too. So the eyeball test, I'm still very, very skeptical on what we have in Trey Lance. And then you look at the Green Bay Packers. There's wide receiver issues there. And that's going to be there the whole year. Now, can they get better? Yes, obviously they can. That defense needs to improve, but the Vikings look like they're the better team, and I don't think it's going to flip that much that quickly.
No,
I don't either.
And don't give up on the Rams yet. Let's not give up on them yet. They'll get things going.
They're another offensive line I'm concerned about, but it looks like their division's going to be pretty soft this year. I mean, if it's San Francisco, Seattle, and Arizona that you got to beat, they should be able to win that division.
Isn't that funny how that's flip-flopped in just a short amount of time? And the main thing is Arizona just looks god-awful. That's a team you had to deal with last year, and it sure doesn't look like it now.
Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury, man, still wondering how he got that one. Like, that's just absolutely phenomenal. And how about them Dolphins, baby? I mean, I'm still not sure about whether or not Tua's good, but the team looked good. A lot of talent on that roster.
You better believe it. But they're in the AFC. Golly.
Got a huge test coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. We'll talk about a lot more of the games this week. I mean, I can't wait to talk about that Minnesota-Philadelphia game, which is a huge Monday night game. We got 2 Monday nighters this week, so get ready. It's going to be another big fun Monday night. I love that we're doing 2 this week again. I wish we do 2 every week because then you get more of these island games. But what can you do? All right, let's jump over to Kentucky Downs for one race before we get into the best bets of the day. So let's talk a little bit about the Gun Runner Stakes, the 10th race over at Kentucky Downs. Your favorite, so 7 Stitch scratched out of the race. So now the favorite is the 12-horse American Mayhem here. Aaron, did you put American Mayhem on top? That 12 post a little rough in this spot.
Yeah, I did not. I haven't drawn out of the hat yet who's going to win this race. We'll take a shot here. I took the 9 Fort Washington on top. I feel like this horse we were waiting for this horse to kind of win, wake up, never did. Kind of finally did at Monmouth last time out. He's kind of a horse that should like going 1 mile on this turf course, I feel like. And he's got the breeding to be really, really good. He was running decent and just kind of never could get it done. But I really think Fort Washington today could be his day. And I think the price is going to be okay. I think we'll get every bit of that 5-1 morning line. So I took Fort Washington, and I have the 6 in second. Well,
funny you say that. I almost had the 6 as my best bet of the day. That was the horse that I liked in this spot. I thought that it's Forte Ventura. There it is. I thought Forte Ventura has a big chance to take a step forward here. Second time out later in the 3-year-old season. Ran behind Annapolis. No one was beating Annapolis that day. It ended up running second, dead heated in that race. Looked good. I'm hoping we take a step forward. The horse has tactical speed, which you have to have right now at Kentucky Downs, going around 1 turn. And look, I like Jonathan Thomas. When he ships horses, they run. This is a spot where you're getting Tyler Gaffleone, who's been one of the more impressive jockeys at this meet so far as well. So I like the combination of Thomas and Gaffleone. I think this horse is live. I was a little interested in the 2 at a big time price, 20-1. Why do I do this to myself? Dawig Chief? I don't know. Anyway, Tom Amos had this horse in a bunch of great stakes last year. speed has been very good. This is your speed of the speed and has won at Kentucky Downs. Do you consider the 2 at all, Aaron?
Yeah, I looked at the 2 a little bit. I hadn't really seen the best of this horse in a while, but that race at Fairgrounds 4 back is probably good enough to compete here. And like I said, does have the win over the Kentucky Downs surface, which is obviously important. Look, Kentucky Downs is a place where 20-1 can win like a 1-2, right? So I'm not going to talk anybody off of a price. I think the key is going to be getting out to the front, and I think it's going to be a race there between the 2 and the 3 and maybe the 12 about who can get the lead, and whoever gets it's going to be tough to pass, because that's kind of how this track has played this meet, which is kind of different from usual, but it has been a little bit speed favoring, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree, especially around 1 turn. We've seen some horses be able to come from off at 2 turns in bigger fields, but those 1-turn races have been dominated by horses who are sitting up front. All right, let's jump into those best bets of the day, guys. Well, let's see here. Papa, do you want to kick us off with a nice little Bay Area matchup?
I will do it. Well, my favorite pitcher for Atlanta to beat is going up against the other team's best pitcher again. Is this not amazing? Every time this guy pitches, he goes up against the other team's best pitcher. So I don't know how good a pitcher Charlie Morton is for the Braves. He usually pitches pretty well, but he's going up against the Giants' best guy today. And what's he first? I think it's Carlos. Is that right?
Yeah,
Carlos. Yeah. Rodon. I think it's Rodon. This guy has the capability of shutting you down. He has a great record. His record would be better if the Giants could score. And that's kind of a worry a little bit today. But usually Morton gives up some runs. Rodon has struck out 10 or more in 4 of his last 5 starts. He has dominating stuff. I got a good tip today, too. It's supposed to be nice and cool in San Francisco today, which improves the rotation on the ball. And he's got great stuff. Hey, I've got it all going for us today. Now, I really debated about taking the under at 7.5 because the Giants can't score. But the value is better to just take the Giants outright. I think they can win this game because I think he will silence the bats, and sure they can get 2 or 3 off Charlie. So I'm going to go Giants plus 108.
I like it. I looked at this game as well. I actually looked at the under too and decided to stay away from it. Interesting stat too, Rondon, during day games, his ERA is even better, 1.81 when pitching during the day. It starts at 3:45. So I love it. Yeah, and I love that little rotation fact. Another fact: the ball doesn't travel very well when it's cooler there too.
That's right.
It's quite a bit thicker by the bay. So I love all these aspects. Hopefully we can get the Giants home. Aaron, let's talk about your best bet. Going back to an old favorite here, taking the Cardinals minus -1.5.
Oh, I'm not taking the Cardinals. You're out of your mind. Get that off of there. You asshole. It's funny. Right. I text Dad this morning. I said, I kind of like the Cardinals at plus money today. And he's like, are you going to pick them? I was like, hell no, I'm not picking them. All right. I'm going to pick with the Yankees in this spot. They're kind of an old favorite too. I picked them.
They win though. They've cashed some tickets where the Cardinals have struggled at doing that.
Correct. I have won with the Yankees a few times in the season. Look, it's no secret. They really have fallen since being the best team in baseball earlier in the year. But they're starting to kind of get back on track. They won 2 out of 3 against the Rays, and I thought that was a really good step. And they won last night in Boston. Pretty good game, 7-6. Really fun game. Went into extra innings. It got tight. Today, I like them because I think they should be a little bit heavier favorite than this. Cortez is pitching. He's not bad. 9-4, 2.73 ERA. I think he's solid. I'll be honest. This pitcher for the Red Sox, I don't know that I've ever seen him pitch. He is 1-5, 5.79 ERA. He's not great. -125. I think it's a little bit of a steal. The Yankees need to win. I mean, that thing kind of got tight on them there, and they need to finish this season strong. I think they're going to win tonight. I actually like them better tonight than I did last night. So I'll take the Yankees here, see if they can get their 4th win in a row.
Yeah, Brian Bello, a rookie pitcher for the Red Sox. They called him up midway through the season. This is going to be his, I believe, sixth start or seventh start, I believe it is. Not been wonderful. It doesn't go very deep in games right now, so you get into that Red Sox bullpen pretty quickly. Yankees have been mashing lately, so I like this one. Papa, did you think about the Yankees at all today?
Oh, I do. And this is another one. How come that line's 125? That, I would think it'd be minus 160, minus 170. So it's a little scary there.
True.
Yeah, we'll see if it's one of those where, I mean, Cortez's numbers are good, but he's one of those pitchers I don't feel like gets a lot of betting respect.
Yeah.
And then when you see Red Sox, Yankees, you kind of end up seeing, you generally see a little closer lines just because of the teams. They're so competitive with each other.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to set it up so that we got constant action all day. I'm going to take one of the early games. I'm going to go with the Astros, minus 1.5, minus 135 at the Detroit Tigers. To me, this is just all about the pitching matchup. We got Christian Javier going onto the mound for the Astros. 3 ERA with a right around a 1 WHIP, and it's been a very solid starter for them all year. Has a quality games record going. I think it's like 22 in a row of quality starts. So love him starting there. And on the other side, you got Joey Wentz, who is a rookie, 24-year-old. It's going to be his 4th start. He had elbow surgery 2 years ago, so he's just still working back from elbow surgery as well. I mean, for me, this is just a wildly different matchup. You got a pitcher that you can trust versus a younger pitcher, newer pitcher. It's Houston 7-3 in their last 10. They need to keep winning. Detroit is basically rolling out a AAA team at this point. So I'm going to take the Astros. Hopefully they can keep rolling. We can get a nice little start to the week here with that minus 1.5, minus 135.
Let's go 3-0.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's why we got the brooms back there. We had that 4-0. We had that 4-0 Saturday or Sunday. So that was solid. Got a big week coming up. We're going to be back all week at noon, except for Saturday. So real quick, Saturday announcement, we're going to do Dudes Who Bet Daily at 11 o'clock so we can include those noon Eastern kickoffs on Saturday. So make sure you join us at 11 on Saturday. We'll be back at noon Thursday, Friday, and Sunday of this week. We're going to have Slim on tomorrow for a prop bet that he's going to throw in as well. So he'll be on Dudes Who Bet Daily. Magic will be back tomorrow with the CFL bet too. So it's going to be an absolute full house tomorrow with just a betting extravaganza. Tomorrow's a big day as well, show-wise. We've got a Magic Mike show. We've got a Blinkers Off. We've got a Dudes Who Bet Daily. We've got our halftime show. And of course, we've got Dudes Who Bet Sports will be on tomorrow as well. So Monster Day tomorrow on the Racing Dudes channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you know when we are going live. You can check out all of these videos upcoming. Well, boy, Mike, let's see. Main question is, Papa Dude ready to be on a live stream with Slim? What do you think, Papa Dude? Are you ready for some Slim in your life?
Well, I'm full of shit. We all know that, right? And I know he's full of shit. So it's going to be really good tomorrow, I think.
I'm interested to have Slim on a noon show. That's just, I haven't seen Slim at noon before. It's always the later shows. He's always drinking, always doing that. I don't know what sober Slim is like.
Yeah.
I don't either. I've seen him at noon, and he has
join us tomorrow at noon to find out what a sober Slim is like. All right, let's jump over to the best bets. Quickly recap this. We've got Aaron going with the Yankees minus 125 tonight against Boston. Papa Dude going with the Giants plus 108. That's a 345 first pitch. I'm going to take the Astros minus a 1.5, minus 135. That one starts at 110, so you got action all day. Last week, we went 11-8 plus $300 for the year, up $2,450 off a $100 base bet. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will see you tomorrow on Dudes Who Bet Daily.